Welcome to the Man of Recaps. This is Bridgerton Season 1. It's the start of a new social season in London, and all the single people are looking for love. We follow the Bridgertons, one of the most well-to-do families in England, blessed with many kids. And this year it's time for the oldest daughter Daphne to come out into society as a debutante. And to make this social season even more exciting, there's a new gossip paper in town. It's written anonymously by Lady Whistledown, who has a most scathing wit. So yeah, it's basically Gossip Girl meets Pride and Prejudice. But right now she has only good things to say about Daphne Bridgerton, who the Queen herself named as the incomparable of the season. So all the hottest bachelors want to be on her dance card, but she's being cock-blocked by her older brother Anthony. Yes, sadly their father died, making him Lord Bridgerton, and he's taking his job too seriously. None of these guys is good enough for his sister. But now who's this riding to town? It's the unreasonably attractive Duke of Hastings. His sassy aunt, Lady Danbury, would love him to settle down with a nice girl, but he has no intention of marrying. He's just in town for business. Every girl in town would love to land a duke, but it's Daphne who he runs into with the meet cute. He and her brother are good friends from college, which takes romance right off the table. They get to be just friends. But by now her brother has scared off every suitor in town, and she might have to marry creepy McCreepface. Daphne's not about to let that happen, so now she and Simon come up with a scheme to solve both their problems. They pretend to be courting each other. This will get all the girls off his back and make the men want Daphne even more. We just have to make sure we don't fall in love for real, so you can see where this is going. And their ruse works well. All the boys come calling again. Daphne finally convinces her brother, yo, you gotta let me date. When Daphne picks the one she wants, she and the Duke can stage a breakup, but for now, they have a lot of fun together. Now, as for Anthony Bridgerton, it's time he marries too, but he only has eyes for the hot opera singer he's having a torrid affair with. They are deeply in love, but he knows it can never be, so he keeps dumping her, but then changing his mind. It's a roller coaster. Another family we focus on is the Bridgertons' neighbors, the Featheringtons. They're not as well-to-do as the Bridgertons and have 3 unmarried daughters that kind of have a Cinderella stepsisters vibe. The youngest daughter, Penelope, is excited for her first social season, but the Featheringtons are hosting another debutante, their distant cousin, Marina Thompson. And she is a beauty. All the men in town are blowing up her DMs. But she has a secret. Oh, she's pregnant, knocked up by her soldier boyfriend who went off to war. So now to avoid a scandal, they have to marry her off immediately to an ugly old lord who's not good at math. But she has one last hope, a suitor that might propose quickly, young Colin Bridgerton. Now Penelope became good friends with her cousin, but she has a huge crush on her neighbor Colin. And Colin likes her too, but sees her only as a friend. Penelope's best friend is Eloise Bridgerton, who doesn't want to be a fancy lady, she wants to be a strong independent woman. She admires Lady Whistledown and makes it her goal to find out her real identity. And the Queen is also a huge fan of Whistledown. It's like, hey, if you find out, you tell me. Now there's a lot of pressure on the firstborns, the middle kids not so much. Benedict Bridgerton wants to be an artist, so he befriends an artist and starts going to wild artist parties. Here he meets Madame Delacroix, the best modiste in the city who makes all the ladies fancy dresses. But turns out she's not really French, and these two start a torrid affair. Now back to Daphne and the Duke. Since he hasn't proposed yet, she's still single, and all the suitors are lining up, but none of them are quite up to snuff. But now who's this come to London? A prince from Prussia. That's even better than a duke. He takes a liking to Daphne, but she's weirdly not interested because, you guessed it, she and the Duke fell in love for real. Yeah, with romance off the table, their friendship really blossomed, and the sexual tension is off the charts. But wait, if he likes her, why can't they get married? Well, he has a tragic backstory. His father was an awful man who showed him no love, didn't care about him as a son, just wanted an heir. So on his deathbed, he made his father a sacred vow he would never marry or have kids, so the Hastings line would end. So now instead of pretending to be in love, he is in love, but is pretending not to be. And Daphne's heartbroken, but it's like, whatever, bro, your loss, I'm gonna marry a prince. But when the prince is gonna propose, Daphne runs off. She and Simon have an argument in the gardens where they realize, wait, we're alone and unchaperoned. And oh yeah, they start making out. If anyone were to see them, her honor would be ruined forever. And indeed, brother Anthony's here and none too pleased. It's like, bro, you defiled my sister. The only way to make it right, you gotta propose right now. But he's still committed to never marry, so the only way to make it right is a duel, pistols at dawn. But Daphne rides out to stop it. Yo, you boys are being dumb. Would you seriously rather get shot than marry me? Finally, Simon explains part of the truth. Look, I can never have kids, so I would rather die than put you through the horror of being married without children. It's like, yo, sure, I want kids, but I don't need kids, and it's a moot point anyway because another girl saw us in the garden. You have to marry me or my honor is ruined. So they're gonna be married, but it's not happy because the Duke feels guilty. He's trapped her here and is now distant. And to avoid a scandal, they need to get married quickly, which requires special permission from the Queen, who was shipping Daphne with the prince. So now to convince her, they need to pretend they're madly in love, even though they they are madly in love but pretending not to be. So they have their wedding, but it's not a happy occasion, and Daphne leaves her family for a lifetime trapped in a loveless marriage. On their way to his castle, they stop at an inn where he got them separate rooms, and finally they have it out. Why do you hate me so much? But he's like, Daphne, I don't hate you, I burn with passion for you. And she's like, yo bro, me too. And so it's the moment we've all been waiting for, the Duke's glorious abs. So Daphne and the Duke get it on, and you think the camera's gonna cut away, but it doesn't. And indeed, as the honeymooners make it home, they are insatiable. This show knows what you want, and they spend a whole episode just doing it in every room in the castle. But every time, at the end, the Duke pulls out, and Daphne doesn't understand why. It's not appropriate for ladies to speak of such lurid things. They teach abstinence-only sex education, so it's up to Daphne's lady's maid to give her the talk about the birds and the bees, and now she realizes it's not that the Duke can't have kids, it's that he won't have kids. So in their next session, Daphne gets on top, and when he's gonna finish, she doesn't get off. She's like, yo Duke, it's not okay that you were lying to me, and he's like, yo, this is not okay, you abused my reproductive freedom. So now the happy couple are once again unhappy. Now back in London, Colin Bridgerton is falling in love with Miss Marina Thompson, but she needs that proposal ASAP. She makes a plan to get him alone where he'll give in to temptation and compromise her, so they'll have to get married quick. But oh, Colin's too good of a guy, he wouldn't do that to her. But he proposes anyway, it's like we're in love, why wait? And this is great news of course, but Marina does really like him now and feels bad for lying to him. And so the happy couple announces their engagement to the dismay of poor Penelope. But what's this? Somehow Lady Whistledown has uncovered the secret of her pregnancy, breaking off their engagement and breaking both of their hearts. The fallout hits the whole Featherington family. They are now social pariahs. And turns out this isn't even the Featheringtons' biggest problem. Earlier, their one daughter had a perfect match, but Lord Featherington denied it for no reason. Turns out he has a horrible gambling problem and has gambled away all the girls' dowries. Duke Simon, by the way, has a best friend who's a boxer, and now Featherington approaches him like, hey man, take a fall, we'll both get rich, and he's gonna do it for his family. So Featherington bets everything he has left with some shady characters, and indeed the boxer takes the fall. Yes, his money problems are solved. As for Miss Thompson, Daphne takes pity on her and helps her track down her soldier boyfriend's brother. Unfortunately, her boyfriend died in combat, but the honorable thing is for him to marry her, and it's like, yeah, you're hot, I don't mind. So it's worked out pretty good, except Marina doesn't know this guy. But how did Lady Whistledown uncover such a scandal? The time has come to unmask this menace. Eloise doubles her efforts, bringing in her friend Penelope to help. Her first theory is that Whistledown's a servant because they hear everything and go unnoticed. Problem is, they're too busy actually working all day to write a gossip column. Her next theory is that it's some sort of tradesperson who ladies gossip around without thinking. And when she meets her brother's new girlfriend, the seamstress, she realizes Madame Delacroix is the perfect candidate. Eloise wanted to discover who Whistledown was, but doesn't want to unmask her. It's like, yo girl, your secret's safe with me. In fact, when she hears the Queen's got her cornered, she runs to warn her of the trap. So now back to the Duke and Duchess of Hastings. As the best match of the season, it's their job to throw the end of season party. They've been trying to talk their issues out. Simon tells her about his vow to his father, but she's like, oh, so you hate your father more than you love me? So once again, they must deceive the town by pretending to be in love, even though they are in love, but pretending not to be, which made them fall in love in the first place. And as they're having their dance, it starts to rain, which is a beautiful cleansing moment. They both realize they've been dumb. So the lovebirds are back together, and this time it's his choice not to pull out. And in the epilogue, these two have a beautiful baby together. They get there happily ever after. So happy, in fact, the Duke is not returning next season. Their story's over. Season 2 will focus on the other characters. Marina Thompson is marrying Sir Philip Crane, which is a good match, but it's weird to marry your dead boyfriend's brother. Now Colin Bridgerton's single again. Penelope Featherington can shoot her shot, but Colin's pretty heartbroken. He's leaving town, gonna travel abroad to clear his head. And just now, returning home from abroad is Francesca Bridgerton, so watch out for her. Things are looking up for the Featheringtons until Lord Featherington's accosted by the shady characters who kill him and steal all his cash. Should've put it in crypto, bro. The antiquated inheritance laws don't pass his estate to his daughters. It goes to the closest male heir, who apparently is someone interesting. And as for Lord Anthony Bridgerton, he still loves his opera singer. They can't keep their hands off each other. Finally, he's like, you know what? Screw propriety. I love you and want to be with you. But she's moved on. She's now dating the crimes of Grindelwald. It's like, look man, I love you, but I can't do this roller coaster anymore. You gotta let me go for good. And so in season 2, it'll be time for Anthony to find a wife, and he's resolved to leave love out of the equation. It will also be Eloise's turn to come out in society, which she's dreading. And about Lady Whistledown, she learns Madame Delacroix had an alibi that night. It couldn't be her. So who is the mysterious Lady Whistledown? Oh, it's Penelope Featherington. Yes, the intelligent debutante that no one pays attention to, but is carefully watching everyone else. And that's where Bridgerton season 1 comes to an end. If you like this recap, hit that subscribe button for more of the best recaps of TV and movies.